Warning, what you are about to see in this video will be extremely offensive to people who think good things come to those who wait. Liberals, people who breathe disposable vapes more than they breathe air, people with victim mindsets, and people who wear face masks in a car on their own.
Right, boys, I want to start by saying this is the exact same system that I used to escape £50,000 of credit card debt. I went from struggling like hell, working on market stalls, to making close to $2 million in e-commerce. I went from skinny to jacked. I went from literally hating my life and not understanding what was wrong with my mind. And look, I get the feeling that everybody else is killing it online. You're not. You're struggling. You can't figure it out. You don't understand what they're doing that you're not. You don't know how you acquire this knowledge. You've not got anybody to ask. You don't know any people who can help you with it. And you just feel like you're trapped. Look, that pain, right? You need to feel the pain either way. You can either feel the pain over and over and never ending and just sit with it for the rest of your life, or you can channel the pain into something which will then birth something positive for your life. And that is what locking in is. You've probably heard monk mode before. It's 6 to 12 months of sacrifice to improve your life, whether that be financially, physically, socially, improve your insecurities, whatever it is. But it's sacrificing on short-term enjoyment to learn a new business or to turn your life around completely. It's about incubating yourself with knowledge and discipline in order to get something else. Now, the good thing about locking in, when you channel your focus and all your energy and time into something 100%, you will be amazed at what you can do. And this is just what it takes. This is the price. So all these things that you're seeing online, those people that you know that have attributes that you want, whether you want to get in shape, whether you want to build your own business, whether you want to help around the house with bills, you want to escape your job, whatever you want to do, it is done by locking in. Now, this is giving extremely painful focus over a long period of time on one main objective. And if you're wondering how millions of 20-year-olds are printing money from the internet, it's because they're logged in. And in this guide, we're going to go over how you can do it. Now, just understand, some people are printing cash from the internet, not from locking in, but they are gaming the attention economy that you see on social media. Right. So to understand this, people are fake flexing, blowing up accounts, and then they're selling a garbage info product to low IQ people wanting get-rich-quick schemes. You've seen this on your phone. Sign up, copy my trades, make X amount in X amount of time, live like me. Well, the thing is, flexing is a marketing scheme. And it works, right? Some people are legit flexing because they have legitimate businesses and that's the lifestyle they live. And ultimately, people want to see that. But what you've got to also realize is it only costs £500 for an economy flight to Dubai. A Lamborghini is only £1,000 to rent for the day. So, somebody working at McDonald's can be an influencer. Now, a lot of these guys are good at using certain sounds. They've got no shame, so they will flex on people, calling them brokies when they've not achieved anything or providing any value to the world whatsoever. And that's how they game the system. And they convince a lot of people with low IQs to pay money for the get-rich-quick scheme to live like they're supposedly living. This is not what we are trying to achieve. What I've just explained there is the fastest way you can make money online, right? But you are burning your personal brand before you've even started, right? The internet's not going nowhere. If you get on the internet, this is basically a scam, right? If you're just scamming as many people as you can, what are you going to do when you're 40, bruv? And I get people are making money and they can invest it into stuff, whatever. But this video is for people who actually want to learn something of value and provide it to the world, yeah? If you're watching this video on this channel, this fake flexing bullshit game in the system is not what we're doing here, yeah? This is about acquiring an actual skill to provide value somewhere in order to improve your and your family's life, yeah? This is what we're doing. So let me just tell you about when my business was making 500 grand a year at 19 years old, but I completely hated my life. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, how can you hate your life if your business is making 500k a year? Well, let me explain. So I grew up broke, and to be honest, I was not happy with who I was as a person either, right? So I had no money, no skills, I didn't like my social skills, and I just wasn't happy with myself at all in any aspect. I was failing in every single area of my life, right? And I decided if I get rich, all my problems are going to disappear. Good thinking. So I got obsessed with learning how to make money and learning about entrepreneurship. So I started watching people, Grant Cardone, Gary Vee, and I just started working my face off, straight hustling. And I was doing multiple hustles. Like my mind was, I'd rather go make £2 in an hour than make nothing. Sounds ridiculous, but that's what I did, right? I would work all the time. For 2 whole years, I did nothing but work. I hustled hard. Like, let me just try to explain to you. I was 18, 17 years old, working 7 days a week, and I was locked in like mad. Now, there were a lot of problems with this that I didn't realize at the time, and we're going to go over in this video the mistakes I made and how you can improve on that. So I cut back all of my personal expenses. Now, I'm not just saying I spent less money. Yeah, I'm saying I cut back everything. So I didn't go socialize at events. I wasn't going on nights out. I wasn't partying. I wasn't spending my weekend meeting girls and going for food and doing all these things. I cut back everything. I was 100% all in on my business because I was serious about changing my life. I would take every last bit of money I had, every last bit of savings, every last bit of sale, flips, services I did for people, scrap metal I picked up on the side of the road and went and weighed in, market stalls that I did. I would take everything and put all the money back in. I put everything back in. Serious, guys, I cannot explain to you how much I did this, yeah? I did it way too much, yeah? So I started out on a market stall. I was selling eggs. I used to be, if you went to Leeds in any weekend, you'd have seen me on Briggate on my market stall. Fingerless gloves, in the cold, any season, any weather, I was there, yeah? And I would watch people my age going into Harvey Nichols, which is a designer store. And I used to just watch them and I used to just think, you'll see, you'll see. Really hustling. I was really hustling. And I was just not interested in anything else. I just wanted to get paid. That were it. And I just thought, you know what? The more time that I put in, the faster I'll get there. And there is merit in that. And I'll just explain to you how tight I was, right? So in this video, I just got back from Stone Island sample sale, yeah? I spent £8,500 on Stone Island jackets. Look at all that. 8.5 grand to sell, right? These were all stock. And I went to KFC on the way home on the motorway with my friend, and I was downloading the KFC app to get 20% off my meal. If you just spent 8.5 grand on Stone Island jackets, what difference is it going to make? You saving £2.50. This is how twisted my mind was. I was idiotic with it. Now, there is some merit in that, right? Because when it came to buying the stock for the business, I was all in. I spent that 8.5 grand like, oh, yeah, here you go. I didn't even flinch. I didn't think about it. I spent as much as I could. I'm like, I'm taking it all. I'm taking everything. I didn't care. But when your mind is thinking about, oh, I need to save £2.50, well, I was already at the level where £2.50 wouldn't have mattered, right? But listen, I'm from a working class family, working class area, descendants of factory workers, right? If you're from a working class background, you know, penny pinching, save your money. It's this mindset that you brought up with. And I still had that. I still had that inside of me. But it kind of worked for me, right? It did kind of work for me, but I just did it for too long. But that's how insane I was about it. And this was another problem which we'll go over, right? So my business was turning over 500 grand a year, turnover, at 19, right? And nobody knew. Nobody knew. I was still driving a £700 silver van, a Renault Kangoo from 2002. £700 this van cost me, just a very old van. I put 40,000, 50,000 miles in my first year because I was just hustling, driving, delivering all the time, multiple hustles. I dressed in outlet stock, Nike outlet stock, so I was always in gym sets, Nike gear, right, just cheap stuff. I dressed, like, my full outfit probably cost me like £20. Shorts and t-shirt all the time, or maybe some jogger bottoms and a quarter zip. Just wore gym stuff all the time. All the time. Everywhere I went, I looked like I was going for a run. All the time, yeah? Nobody knew I was making money. I just had a little office and I was straight hustling out of there, and I'd been hustling for a long time. But look, I was making money. I didn't go do nothing. I didn't go no holidays. I didn't buy no watch. I didn't post nothing on Instagram. I was just straight hustling. That's all I was interested in. Nobody knew I was making money like this. And if you'd have saw me, you'd have probably thought, what's that kid up to? Because I wasn't dressed like anything, right? And I was always scurrying around like a rat, literally like a rat. I would go into my office dressed like this, and because I was always working on my own and I was always locked away, I had no social skills. I destroyed all my social skills, right? And I used to try and get into my office as fast as I could because I didn't want anyone to see me. I didn't want anyone to know what I was up to because I was holding stock and stuff. It was a security thing, but I was always on my own, locked in a room, right? This doesn't sound too great, and it wasn't fun at the time, right? But these are all things that are going to be important for the next part. So 80-hour weeks I was putting in as a teenager, 7 days a week. So, 12 hours a week, 7 days a week, no joke. Maybe sometimes I did 10. Every waking hour, like for real, I was doing something that contributed to my pockets, right? And at one point, after the 2 years, I did a profit and loss account and I realized I was making real money. This is how busy I was. I wasn't even doing profit and loss accounts. Do profit and loss accounts for your business. Do not do what I did. But I was just like, I need money coming in, money coming in, money coming in. That's all I'm doing. Money coming in. The money will fix everything, I thought. But I realized I was making real money at this point. Now, this was actually one of the worst times of my life. And you might be thinking, well, why are you making real money? How can that be the worst time of your life? Well, the thing is, I thought money's fixing everything, right? So I would just hustle, put my health on pause, relationships on pause, self-development on pause, everything on pause. I just need to get the money in. The money will fix everything. It doesn't work like that. Because what I was doing is I was putting myself through so much pain to the point of when my life was pain, right? And your life should be pain as a man, but I was making my life a lot more difficult than it had to be. Just think, right? You're sat in an office, working on your own 7 days a week, 80 hours a week, not talking to anybody. You're not practicing talking to people. You're not going to social events. You're not spending money on anything that makes you feel good at all. And you can still go and spend money and have experiences without breaking your pockets, yeah? But I wasn't doing none of that. I wasn't letting myself have anything. Now, the problem with this is it creates a negative feedback loop in your head because no matter how much work you do not get rewarded. And if you're just doing work all the time, not getting rewarded, then you're going to get to a point when your mind doesn't really want to do the work because you're never getting rewarded, right? I would never rewarded myself. But for me, the business wasn't where I needed it to be to start taking the foot off the gas, which there is some merit in that, by the way. But, I always wanted this thing and I thought this thing would change the game. I thought this would change my life. I thought once I hit this thing, which is the money, then I'm going to be living. All my problems are going to be fixed. But this was one of the worst times because I was expecting this thing to come along, change my life, change how I thought about life. But it made me realize that it was the worst mistake of all because I focused on this one thing rather than seeing the bigger picture. Why was I unhappy? Well, I never paid myself. I second-guessed every little thing that I spent, like in KFC, right? Spent on myself. Always on my own, didn't talk to anybody, didn't have a life, super paranoid. There were times, right, where I pulled up on the side of the road because I thought people were following me. Bearing in mind, I had a stockroom with a lot of money in it, but, I was spending a lot of time on my own and you get these thoughts. I would turn a bit crazy. I'm not going to lie to you. I turned a bit crazy. But I want self-developing as a person. I want doing anything enjoyable. So, the system actually worked, right, for what I designed it for, yeah? I wanted to get as much money together as possible. That did work. I did do that. It wasn't it, though, because that wasn't the benefit that I was looking for. I was looking for the money to improve my life, but I could have been improving my life before I even got the money. And then by the time I was doing the self-development and the finances, that would have been a nice spot to be at. So this took me a lot of pain, time alone, and money to figure out. But let's go through a step-by-step framework that you can use to lock in to completely change your life around. And not only your finances, but your health, relationships, and just how you feel about your life, right? And what I want to start by saying is, it takes a lock-in, monk mode, whatever you want to call it, to turn your situation around, right? I don't care if you're massively overweight right now. I don't care if your self-confidence is down there. I don't care if you're struggling financially. I don't care if you're drowning in debt. All those things, apart from being fat, I've never been fat. All those things I've experienced, yeah. Now, the answer to it all is locking in. So the first thing that you need to do is fix your mind. Understand that you are the problem, yeah. Now, you can either cry about that or you can get on with it. There's nothing wrong with admitting you're the problem, yeah. You are the problem. A lot of the things you need to fix up here first. Yeah, it's not just all about the finances, as I explained. I know if you haven't had the money before, you can be thinking it is. Well, I'm telling you from experience, it isn't, right? So I had to admit that I was the reason I was failing. I had to take accountability for the reasons why I was failing, and I had to fix my mind. Now, I only started fixing my mind when I came to the realization that money wasn't solving everything, right? And your business will not fix your insecurities. I thought it would. That's where I went wrong. And it took me many years, 80-hour weeks, for a long time on my own to figure that out, right? So these problems in your mind, the way to fix them, first you have to admit them, right? I know some people who are very, very insecure, right? And what they do is you can try help them, you can try be their best friend in this whole world, but if you get close to that problem, they will bite your head off, because they're insecure and they're trying to mask it, right? That is the worst possible state that you can be in. As a man, it is your responsibility to fix your insecurities. Now, fixing your insecurities looks like learning about them, studying them, audiobooks, YouTube videos, getting the solutions in your mind and testing it in real life circumstances. So actually putting it into action and fixing them. If you do not fix these insecurities, right, you can be in the same situation I was in, getting paid and extremely unhappy. Well, why not be extremely happy and getting paid? That sounds like a better one, doesn't it? So for me, it was social skills, right? And when I was a kid, I had decent social skills. I was very popular at school, always, I never was shy speaking to people, right? I gave myself social skill issues, because I was always sat on my own, working all the time. All I did was work. And then every time I met somebody, I'd just talk about myself all the time. Because all that is in my life is my business. That's it. That's all I do all the time. So what else am I going to talk about? I don't read any books. I don't watch no movies. I don't go nowhere. I don't meet anyone. What else could I possibly talk about, right? So I had to fix this social skills issue. Well, I would remember at a time, right? I used to go to the gym. Well, I still go to the gym. I'm saying I used to go to the gym at this time. And I would think in my head, if I walk up to someone and say, "How are you?" they would be thinking, "Why is this guy speaking to me?" When your mind is idle, it starts playing tricks on you, and that's what happened to me. So I had to focus on my social skills, because what I realized was, no matter how much money you're making, yeah, if you can't build relationships, make friends, meet girls, do all these things, you are going to be unhappy, right? So I had to work on my social skills, and so I did start working on them. Started practicing here and there, started talking to people more, started cold approaching more girls. I started doing podcasts, and now I've got to the point when, I can speak to anybody and I've got good social skills. So I actually turned it from one of my lowest points to one of my best points, right? Business is 80% self-development, right? Now, I want you to just remember that, because I thought business is 100% business. You just need to make money. That's it. You have to develop as a character. Because if you're not developing as a character, like for me, if I never developed on my social skills, how would I have been able to grow my business? How can I meet other business owners? How can I network with other entrepreneurs? How can I find out more information other than what's just on the internet that everybody's got access to? So I had to sit a long time on my own and think about these problems and let them grow in my mind, to where I actually realized it's a massive issue. So the first thing that you're going to get the most benefit out of is fixing your mind. And I don't care what problems are going on in your mind, right? You can fix them. There is books out there for them. There is audio books out there to fix it. And if you put the work in, you will be able to change. Because I felt trapped. I felt absolutely trapped for a long time. I felt like I had no control. I felt like this is me personally, permanently. And I feel like this is just my life now. Well, I was so far from the truth. So really get into your mind and fix your mind, because also when you're feeling better about everything, you're going to be able to lock in and work at a higher quality level. Really important stuff. The first step is a non-negotiable for anybody struggling with money, right? If you're watching this, you don't have much money or you don't have enough money, which if you're locking in, it's for a business. Let's be real, right? Well, I hate them videos where people say, oh, Starbucks won't make you rich. Saving on the Starbucks won't make you rich. Well, yeah, if you're making 10 grand a month, 100 grand a month, 20K a month, whatever, right? Buying a Starbucks every day is not going to make a difference to you. Absolutely not. But if you are struggling with money and trying to build a business and you're spending 35, 40 pounds a week on Starbucks, you are an idiot. Sometimes the people that say that, right, they've never struggled for money before. They don't know what it's like to struggle for money, because if you are at square one and you need to get some cash together and you have other responsibilities, you cannot be going and buying Starbucks every day, my friend. You need that money for your business. You need the cash for your business. So no Starbucks, no designer clothes, no doing drugs, and save your money. Save your money. Now, the whole reason why people can never get through this first step is because they live a lifestyle above their means when it should be way below. And look, guys, this is the same system I used to make $1.9 million on the internet. From zero. I never had a job, never had no money from anyone or anything else. This worked for me. Now, I did it to the extremes because I had a capital intensive business, yeah. I had to spend, I was spending like 30, 40, 50K a month on stock. So I needed to save the capital. Now, if I'm spending 50K a month on stock, is a Starbucks going to make a difference? Probably not. But when I was starting out, right, I used to do a market stall and then go sell 50p's on eBay. You know, the special edition coins. You might be thinking that sounds crazy, yeah? And it is crazy, but you have to be resourceful in the beginning. You need the cash from somewhere and it's on your shoulders. So you have to save your money. But there's a massive reason for this. And this is where people never even get started. People never even get past this, and this is the first step. But if you just focus on this, you'll win. The reason why you need to save your money is because as a business owner, in the beginning stage, you're going to fail for a long time. It's not going to work. You're going to spend cash on paid ads. You're going to need money to live off. You're going to be confused. You're going to have personal bills. So if you are failing because you're running out of cash, and then you have to go get a job, and then you have to stop working on your business, and then you're stressing about your day-to-day life, how are you supposed to progress? How do you progress out of that? You're slowing it down, and you're thinking about all these extra things, right? Live below your means, because this saving will buy you peace of mind. It buys you the ability to have options. If you want to start that business, you can. If you want to have 6 months with no money coming in, you can. We're buying breathing room with peace of mind. You can hustle without the stress. I probably should have said less stress there, but less stress because you've got a breathing room. You've got a little bit of money where you can fail, you can have a big bill, and you're not having to start again. It's super important, this, guys. You're trying to set up your environment, the best possible chance to win. And this is going to let you live with the pain more easily, right? So as a man, your life is pain. Constant pain, in fact. You're not a loser for being in pain or dealing with pain or struggling. You're just a man. This is the life as a man. You've got problems. It's your responsibility to fix them, right? So with that being said, your life can get way less painful than it already is if you just get your shit together. It really can. Think about it, right? If you're worrying about the heating turning off because you can't afford to fix the boiler, that's more painful than not knowing how email marketing works. And I'm telling you that from experience, yeah. I've been in that position before. I'm trying to build a new business and I'm getting stressed out because the boiler keeps turning off because it's broken in the middle of winter. I can't fix it. I'm calling up gas company, to come fix the boiler, but they don't cover it. And then it keeps going off. And then I'm calling them to fix the boiler. I'm sat in the house and it's freezing. You're not going to build a business if you're sat in the cold, are you? So if you're in this position, it's going to be way more painful than just building the business. But if I, at the time, had a big enough breathing room, I wouldn't have had to deal with that. Because believe me, life can start hitting hard when you find yourself in a situation like that. You're going to really learn fast how hard life can get. So build up a breathing room, budget, and get some money together so you can just sit and focus and not be worried, right? Now, when it comes to escaping pain, this is what you're going to want to do when you're locking in, because it's not fun. You're not speaking to your friends. You're not going out and doing these things. I'm not saying you can't do it ever, right? But if you're saving your money and you can't go on that holiday and you can't go to that night out and you can't go to that social event and you're not buying the clothes that you want, you're not dressing how you want to dress, you're not going the places you want to go, you're not driving the car you want to drive, it's going to be hurtful. It's going to hurt, yeah? And when you're making all those sacrifices and it's failing, because it will fail for you, right? Even Imran Gadzi couldn't go make his first business and make money straight away. Nobody can. You have to learn, right? Some people it's going to take longer than others, and that's fine. Well, you're going to feel the confusion. You're going to feel the stress. You're going to feel like you're not good enough. All these are normal feelings for every entrepreneur. Just know this. TikTok and Pornhub will not fix this pain. Those days you're feeling all the pain, those will not fix it. The only way out of the pain is through the work. These short-term pleasures have to be paid for later down the line. They're paid for in opportunity cost, they're paid for in personal shame, and they're paid for in the distraction from your work. The only thing to get out of the pain is by the work. The vehicle, you have to fuel the vehicle. The business is your vehicle to get you out of the pain. You have to fuel it, but it takes work to fuel it. And I'll tell you this, the work is painful. The work hurts. But that is the only way out. These short-term pleasures, when life really starts hitting, like, guys, I never really had terrible habits when I was in my first monk mode, lock-in, whatever you want to call it, right? And I did have some bad habits, but they weren't too bad. But then when I hit a certain hard time, I started stacking up the pain. I started stacking up the habits, yeah. And I would literally, I was that unhealthy where every time I would stand up, I'd have to grab onto the door handle because I felt like I was going to faint. I was having sleepless nights. I was taking ADHD medication, nicotine pouches, caffeine, 10 coffees a day, just to get through the day. I was a mess, right? And this was because I was trying to escape the pain with something else. Well, the work is the only thing that's going to get you out of the pain. So expect it, but just deal with it. Deal with it like a man. When I first started working for myself, I would genuinely expect myself to work every waking hour. I'd just cram it in as much as I could. If I weren't working, I'd feel like a loser. But this is idiotic, stupid. I know you feel like a hustler, yeah? I felt like, oh yeah, it's just hustling. It's meant to be hard, working around the clock. Oh yeah, I'm grinding, bro. Nobody else is doing what I'm doing. But in reality, it was unfocused, sloppy work because even when there was no work to do, I would just give myself work. And at the beginning, I was sending orders on eBay. I was just doing tasks that I could pay someone else for. And I wasn't focused because I never took any time to myself. I was always just hustling. This is the wrong way to do it. You're not going to get further by adding stuff in. You're going to get further by removing things from your life. And another thing about habits, don't just set yourself 10 new habits tomorrow. Don't try and wake up 2 hours earlier, read for 2 hours, go to 2 workouts, do all these things by tomorrow. Well, wake up half an hour earlier. Wake up 10 minutes earlier. Read for 20 minutes. And then next week, increase it. The little bits, bit by bit. The winners are not expecting themselves to do all these crazy things by tomorrow. Habits are built over time. So just do it in chunks and make progress little bits at a time. But that being said, right, in the beginning, it's you, only you. So you have to hustle like mad. And some of your habits are going to get bad. But look, if you're working 12 hours a day and you end up going to McDonald's, who gives a shit? Yeah? It's all right, all these guys telling you to do monk mode, living in Dubai, going for a run down the beach, but they're locked in, yeah? But if you're living somewhere you don't want to live, in an area you don't want to be, and you're seeing the crime around your area, and you don't like the situation that you're in, you don't like the people that you're around, well, I'm sorry, sometimes you might have to just go get a Mackey's. Don't make a thing about it, yeah? Don't beat yourself up about it. You can't be 100% perfect because you're going through a heavy pain period. So your habits are going to be bad in the beginning, right? Don't beat yourself up about it, right? The lock-in mode is for a short period of time. It's not forever. Just be conscious of your habits, but sometimes they're going to slip, but that's okay. You're a human being. That's okay. Just don't make a habit of bad habits. And once the ball starts moving, right, we're trying to work less. So start figuring out your highest leverage task and prioritize that. Because you have to learn how to be a boss, not a hustler. I used to just hustle. That's not a business owner. You've got a full-time job there. I don't care how much money you're making. You're not a business owner. You're just an employee. And you're an employee working a lot longer than you should be, yeah? Now, you've got to brainwash yourself. Go join a cult. Drink the Kool-Aid. No, I'm only joking. Well, brainwashing yourself is where you're trying to completely change your mindset. So remember when I told you about how I used to think about money, save, 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 save? Well, that's because I was conditioned that way as a kid, right? So I had to put myself in a different mindset. Now, if I don't know anybody who's got a mindset around making money or rich people, then I have to learn that myself, and I learned that through the internet. Now, I had to inoculate myself with new information about making money and entrepreneurship. I had to learn about business. So I used to go through and watch these videos and listen to the audiobooks and read the books and watch people online. I used to just download this information all the time. And when you're focusing on one thing and you're just constantly washing your mind with this information, you start learning it and you start changing how you think about things. And this is a super essential point, right? This is how I went from a working class kid on the markets making £100 a day, yeah, to doing 70 grand, 80 grand months from my business, yeah. This is what you've got to do. You have to brainwash yourself with it. I don't care where you're from, what country, whatever. You've got access to the internet. You can do this. Now, brainwash yourself with positive information. Think about your mind and what's in your mind as mental real estate, yeah? How much do you want your mental real estate to be worth? Because you've only got so much of it, right? This is the thing with real estate. There's only so much. So if your mental real estate is being corrupted by short form videos, it's being corrupted by negative thoughts, being corrupted by talking to people who are not living the life you want to live, if it's corrupted by cheap entertainment, porn, losers' opinions, then you're devaluing your mental real estate, right? But if you're looking at your mental real estate and thinking, well, I want high-rise pads, I want high-rise buildings, I want the nicest streets, I want to have a high-value mental real estate, then you input positive things. So limit the negative things coming in. You might have to remove yourself from some groups. You might have to stop talking to certain people. Start putting positive things in, downloading good information, focusing on one thing, talking to positive people, talking to winners. And when you do this over and over again, you're going to start changing your mindset for the better. You're going to brainwash your thinking. If you've got a bad mental attitude, that's cool. You can have that. But if you're not learning how to fix it, then that's on you, my friend. You're going to sit with that problem forever, right? So it's okay to have the wrong mindset and thinking correctly about stuff. But if you want to change it, this is how you do it. Brainwash yourself, immerse yourself with new information, and you will change your habits and how you think and what you know very quickly if you fully immerse yourself. Now, goal setting. If you're not motivated to work online, then you're just selfish, right? Like, it is what it is. I'm sorry to be like that way, my friend, but it is what it is. Look, my great-granddad would work in a factory, and once he finished working at the factory, he'd go to the pub, and he would spend all his money on alcohol and gambling. Now, he didn't do that because he was a selfish guy, even though it sounds it. Well, he worked in a factory, and he was working class. He was in a factory 12 hours, 14 hours per day, earning enough for basic living. He didn't go on trips, didn't buy designer clothes, didn't have all these opportunities we've got on the internet. So how can I sit and not work my face off when I've got all this opportunity? All I've got to do is sit on a laptop. Yeah, it might be painful, but I'm indoors, I've got my socks on. My feet are nice and warm. You understand? I can go get a coffee when I want. That's not hard compared to what your family had to do previously. And that's the same in any country you've been to. Maybe you're from a wealthy family, but you don't need to lock in if you've already got money. Well, you kind of do, but you understand my point, right? Just think back to what your family has dealt with over the past 20, 50, 100 years. You've got it the best than any of them have had it. So you have to look at this like it's your responsibility. The internet is the best opportunity of all time, and anybody can win from it. So set big goals. And you might be thinking, well, I can't achieve them. I don't feel like I can. Well, listen, I started on the market stall selling coins. I used to pick up scrap metal from the side of the road and put it in the back of my van and go weigh it in with all the gypsies. I'm from Bradford. Do you understand? I'm from Bradford. So Set goals, set big goals. Thing is with me, I started working for myself at 17. I started making money straight away. You know, little bits of money, but I built it up. But what it gave me the confidence to work for myself. But it only gave me the confidence because I tried early. I just managed to try early. But if you do start trying on a daily basis with repetition, daily action over time, you'll get a bit of confidence with it and it'll just build and build and build. Because when you're wholly responsibility for your own income, you're going to be surprised at what you can achieve. Set big goals. Why not you? Why can it not be you? It can. Anybody watching this, it can be you. But if you lock in and immerse yourself and put some discipline on saving your money and put it towards one thing and focus, that's what it takes. But if you do those things, you can get it. You really can get it. And the thing is with focus, I used to think I'm either focused or unfocused. No. Focus is a constant battle, right? You're going to have bad days, you're going to have better days. But there are things that you can do to increase your odds. That's for sure. Don't expect yourself to be focused 100% of the time. It's impossible. A few things I encourage you to try, right? Meditation. It took me a long time to do this. Meditation's great. Some days I miss it. I'm not going to lie to you guys, but it helps. It helps when you're feeling stressed and you've got a lot on your mind. It's good to just think clearly. That's the thing. It's going to help your mental real estate. Planning your day the night before. Listen, if you're locking in, you have to get a planner. I don't care what you are preferring to do, what you think you can remember, you have to get the planner. Get the planner. You need to know what you are doing. Do not rely on your monkey brain. Write down your habits, write down the tasks that you want to achieve, get clear about your goals, and start doing them on a daily action. Now, to increase focus, it's not about adding stuff in, but it's about removing stuff, right? So if you're going and playing Xbox with your buddy on a Thursday night, you can't do that, my friend. If you're watching Netflix for 3 hours every night, you can't do that, my friend. If you're on TikTok for 3 hours every night, you can't do that, my friend. You just can't. So it's affecting your focus. Yeah, again, mental real estate. The more bad stuff you put in, the more you've got to think about, the worse your output's going to be. You put good stuff in, meditate, have discipline, write stuff down, it's going to help. Finally, let's end with this. Set some daily non-negotiables. What I like to do is have, at this point, a wealth one, a relationship one, and around knowledge. So as long as I'm reading and learning something, as long as I'm testing my social skills, and as long as I'm improving on my business, I don't have to earn money that day from that work because I'm a business owner. But as long as I'm doing something to contribute to my business, as long as I'm hitting those 7 days a week, 364 days a year, we'll take Christmas off. You're allowed Christmas Day off, yeah? You're watching out there. As long as you do those things, you're improving on the 3 most important parts of your life. And you do those for long enough, and you will taste the fruit. You will get the fruit from your labor. So, guys, hope you found that valuable, yeah? Subscribe to the channel, by the way. This channel is going to pop off any day now. We're uploading on a very consistent basis. All the best.